We are here for the win and in for day 2 between Wolfe Glick or Wolfe here and Leonard Craft the third. The winner of this will secure the first spot here into the top cut of day 2 for the Milwaukee Regional Championships. So here we can see Wolfe Glick's team. We did go over this team yesterday, but it is a very, very powerful team. It has Wolfie sitting at 9-0 right now, and this is a team built around Hisuian Zoroark with a bit of a Whimsicott as well. A very, very powerful, strong special attacking team here. Obviously, the Tailwind coming out of the Whimsicott here with the fake tiers as well, really enabling these 3 special attackers. Of course, Goldango and Blood Moon Ursaluna, the 2 big special attackers here. You got that Metal Coat, Make It Rain, and of course, that Terra Normal Life or Blood Moon. 2 incredibly powerful moves. Of course, the Hisuian Zoroark as well, just a fantastic support piece, giving a little bit of speed control for both the Goldango and the Blood Moon Ursaluna. Taunt also very, very important in this metagame. And Icy Wind is just... The combination of Icy Wind and a bit of Mallets right now just feels incredibly good. That speed control and that, ability to reduce the opponent's attack stat, incredibly, incredibly important. Then, of course, Incineroar, just one of the best supported pieces in the game. That Mirror Herb really helping out with that King Gambit matchup, which can be a bit of an issue for this team. And then, of course, D-Knight, just one of the best Pokemon in the format right now. And then over on Leonard's side of things here, we have a very, very interesting team. One of my favorite archetypes in the current metagame, and that is a bulky offense paired up with a Friend Guard Mousehold. Just an incredibly, incredibly potent core right now. Of course, you've got that Rillaboom here, giving you grassy terrain recovery, which is very important on a lot of these bulkier teams. And on top of that, just one of the best supportive pieces in the game. Of course, we have that Super Fang Mousehold here. Friend Guard with Focus Sash, very, very important. And Super Fang on the teams like this is just unbelievable, right? Super Fang into Make It Rain is going to KO a lot of things. Super Fang into Blood Moon is going to KO a lot of things. Super Fang into Scale Shot is going to KO a lot of things. And then, of course, as well, you've also got Beat Up into Rage Fist. Just incredibly, incredibly potent here as well. You've got that Tailwind on the D-Knight for the speed control. Haze also very, very good when you pair it up with Goldango, of course, allowing you to get rid of the negative stat buffs you get from the Make It Rain. Of course, Assault Vest, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, another very, very good Pokemon right now. Incredibly bulky when you have Assault Vest plus Friend Guard as well on the board. Insane. And then, of course, Annihilate, one of the big rises in the format at the minute. You pair it up with Mousehold and you just have such a devastating combination. Of course, you've got Friend Guard, you've got Friend Guard to make it bulkier, but then you've got Follow Me, Bulk Up, and Beat Up Rage Fist. So just incredibly, incredibly good stuff here. All right, here we are. Let's jump into it. The win and in here for top card of day 2 for the Milwaukee Regional Championships. Over on Wolf's side of things here, we have Blood Moon, Ursaluna, and Goldango, a very, very powerful offensive core here. And then on Leonard's side of things here, we have that Life Orb, Goldango, paired up with the Mousehold, making it that little bit bulkier, and of course, also being able to redirect both that Shadow Ball and Earth Power potentially here. So it will be interesting. Oh, actually, sorry, we see on Wolf's side of things, this is not a Blood Moon, Ursaluna. No, no, no. This is a Zoroark, and there it is, turn 1 there. It goes off. The question is, what did Wolfe click here on the Goldango? Did he go the Shadow Ball predicting this, or has he just played it a little bit safer here? He has gone the nasty plot. Very smart, of course. You don't want to click that Shadow Ball into a Follow Me on that mouse hold right there. So very, very smart. And then, of course, the Goldango coming out here with big damage. That is actually insane. Getting the crit there on the Goldango, I was going to say 50% on a Make It Rain unboosted is kind of insane. But, of course, the Zoroark's disguise now has been broken. Now, this is an okay position for Wolfe. Obviously, that crit there does suck. But in saying that, he has now set up the Goldango, and there's always the option here of a Taunt. He also has the speed control here as well, which is very, very good. I would not be surprised if we do see something like a Taunt. Of course, there is always just the option as well here of something like a Terra, Make It Rain. It will be interesting to see how he wants to play this right now. He is hovering that bit of Malice, kind of just predicting, I guess, no... Yeah, I think this is the safe play here. Taunt and Protect is safe. It just means that next turn, the Goldango, who is -1 speed, is not safe on the board with your own Goldango here. He's just going back and forth, though. Does he want to go the Taunt? Does he want to go the Bit of Malice? Because, again, I don't think Bit of Malice and Protect on the Goldango here is the worst play in the world, because it does kind of allow you just... oh, and he's actually going to go for a switch here. Wolfe could have a big brain play, especially if this is a Protect from the Mousehold. It will be the Ursaluna here. This is Assault Vest with Friend Guard. One of the few Ursalunas that can take this Make It Rain. Without the Assault Vest, without the Friend Guard, typically a +2 Make It Rain is plenty more than enough for a KO. So let's just see how much damage this can actually do here from Wolfe's Goldango. This should be a good chunk, but I don't know how close it's going to get to half. And it's just a little over half, meaning that next Make It Rain will not be enough to KO. And Leonard Ursaluna all of a sudden is in a very, very good position. Because right now as well, the Zoroark on Wolf's side of things will outspeed his Goldango, and it threatens no damage onto this board right now. I personally wouldn't mind seeing something like that torn into Protect on the Goldango, but right now you really, really do need to get that Goldango next to your own Ursaluna, just so you have the ability to pick up a double KO on Wolf's side of things. We do know it's in the back. It is what the Zoroark was disguised as on turn 1. And we also see him just playing around with the idea of switching into that Whimsicott turn 1 right now. Sorry, on this turn. It's going to be interesting to see how Leonard kind of wants to pivot around this, because again, this is a very, very bulky team on Leonard's side of things. This Friend Guard Assault Vest Ursaluna will not go down this turn without a crit, and we are going to see Wolf just get the Zoroark out right now. And it is into that Whimsicott, I believe it is. Whimsicott the Peckish here should come in. I'm assuming this is just going to be something like a... Oh, he's actually gone the Vacuum Wave. It's not enough. Did Wolfe Glick make it rain? He did. This will be the end of the mouse hold, and the Ursaluna holds on 1 HP. And now all of a sudden, Wolfe Glick is in a very, very tricky position, because this Goldango right now is pinned by the Vacuum Wave. Of course, the Blood Moon Ursaluna right now is definitely in range of the Moonblast on Wolf's side of things. But yeah, this all of a sudden now gets into a pretty tricky endgame here. The Terrifier here, definitely smart by Wolf, just making sure that his Whimsicott doesn't go down. And I believe a Protect will very, very likely follow here onto the Goldango here. Just making sure it doesn't go down, because without it, it could be a bit difficult for him to break through this, this Goldango right now. He is just going back and forth, Tailwind or Moonblast. I do think the Moonblast here is the safe play, right? Obviously, you want to make sure that Ursaluna goes down. That way you can still play with your Zoroark, because without it, it's just going to be in range here of a Vacuum Wave, which is definitely not what Wolf wants right now. And again, he also wants his own Goldango just to be able to play the game right now. So definitely a smart play here by Wolf. Just keep that Whimsicott alive. Make sure it doesn't go down to a Make It Rain. We are going to see a Terra come out here. I'm assuming this is just the Terrifier on Wolf's side of things, and it is. We will see here if Leonard wants to go for a Terra of his own. Very unlikely at this point. There's no real pressure on Wolf's side of things right now, so we should be able to see how this turn wants to play out. Is it Protect on Wolf's side first? And on Leonard's side of things, it is going to be that Vacuum Wave. Very just, you know, basic play there by Leonard. He had to go for it. He knew if either of Wolf's spawns attacked, the Ursaluna would go down. There is a nasty plot, though, which does mean all of a sudden that this this Goldango is very, very scary. Now, in saying that, though, Wolf, I believe, is back at neutral special attack right now. So a Shadow Ball into a Terrid Goldango would not go very far. But in saying that, Ape is also a mon that kind of wants to Terra in front of a Goldango. So a Shadow Ball into either slot right now does definitely threaten a KO from Wolf's side of things. He just has to pick the correct one. Of course, that Goldango is still going to be weak to that Ursaluna in the back. And both mons here without Terra are weak to the Hisuian Zoroark. There is a Protect there on the Goldango. It could just be a double Protect by Leonard here, trying to stall out the turns. And no, it is not. It is actually going to be the Annihilate going on the offensive here. The only issue is I don't know if... I mean, Annihilate should do enough damage here to pick up the Goldango for sure. It's very, very low. Even though Rage Fist is unboosted, it should definitely be enough. And it is... Now, the question is, how is Wolf going to play this endgame here? Of course, that Blood Moon Ursaluna in the back, threatening big, big damage here into the Goldango right now. The question is, does a Blood Moon plus a Moonblast pick it up if it doesn't Terra? Because right now, obviously, the Terra into the Earth Power does make a lot of sense, but does Wolf potentially predict it, go for a Blood Moon? Does Leonard predict the prediction and just stay a Still type? It's going to be really interesting to see, because... Yeah, and Wolf kind of just, I think Wolf knows. He's just saying, hey, even if you Terra, this is still a lot of... Oh, he gets the double Protect! Oh, Leonard, you are playing a dangerous game, sir. Is this going to be a bulk up onto the Annihilate here, though? Or is he just going to go for the Drain Punch to get Chip here into Wolf's Ursaluna? Because all of a sudden, things have just gotten really, really scary for Wolf. That was the turn where he had to get big chip damage out. And that Drain Punch is going to do right on 50%. So Wolf, all of a sudden now, he has to pick. I think you've got to stick to the Goldango at this point. Make sure that goes down and then pray the Ursaluna, sorry, the Zoroark is enough to get this done. I think the biggest thing for Wolf as well is you just don't want to give up Rage Fist stacks. Obviously, the Ursaluna and the Zoroark here don't really care too much for the Rage Fist, but of course the Whimsicott being threatened by a one-shot is what is very scary for Wolf right now. Oh, he's thinking this is a lot goes into this turn, right? Does Earth Power plus Moonblast KO if he terrors? And he does go the triple here, which doesn't go off, which does mean that the Goldanger should go down this turn. And this should put Wolf into a decent position. The special attack drop there. I think if you're Wolf, you're really thankful that didn't happen to the Ursaluna here, because obviously you really don't want to give that thing a Defiant boost. Giving it +2 physical attack would be kind of disastrous right now, especially when you have something like Drain Punch that could potentially then just start dealing big damage to the Whimsicott here. And the Ursaluna here will go down. It's tricky here right now for Leonard because he actually cannot touch the Hisuian Zoroark. So this is actually game over. I didn't see that a second ago where I was like, oh, Zoroark late game might be okay. No, it is completely free. Rage Fist cannot touch the normal type. Drain Punch cannot touch the ghost type. Hisuian Zoroark should be able to wrap this up here for Wolf. And yeah, pretty comfortably should be able to take game one. Hisuian Zoroark, for those who don't know, is the hard counter to Mouse Ape. You know, obviously the Mouse does have the beat up, but beat up does very, very minimal damage, hence why you do like clicking it into your own Annihilate here. But Wolf will send out his Zoroark, and yeah, I think this is where you just start game cleaning for, you know, game two. Similar to what Wolf did yesterday, I would not be surprised right now if he just takes his time. He knows he's got this one wrapped up. He can just take his time. He can click his Bitter Malices. He can go for his, I mean, hell, you could even lock him into a Drain Punch here, just knowing he's going to not do too much damage with it. But yeah, something like Fake Tears, just speed up the end game here. Just go Fake Tears, you go the Bitter Malice, you kind of just get this done with. But a very, very well-played game here by Wolf. Leonard's team, very scary as well. I think the Annihilate coming in as late as it did, not being able to get as much work done as it did, was probably not ideal for Leonard. I think he probably wanted to get this thing set up earlier, but in saying that, again, you're playing against two normal types. Of course, you know, Goldanger was also there, so you kind of do want it as an option to potentially, you know, get a Terrafire up, either make it rain, because again, Terrafire actually in this game does make a lot of sense. It's quite good, and we are going to see quite a bit of damage out of the Bitter Malice there. That basically also just lets us know that a Bitter Malice will not KO this Annihilate if it is not, even if it doesn't Terra in the next game, which is definitely something worth keeping in mind here. On Leonard's side of things, though, I think he definitely probably needs to look at potentially matching Tailwind. I think the Maushold, the Goldanger, and the Blood Moon Ursaluna are all very, very good in this set. I do think in the end game, though, the Annihilate just wasn't enough. It was difficult, right? Because you can't bulk up in front of the Whimsicott. So I wouldn't mind seeing potentially just a switch up here, bringing the D-Knight over the Ape, or potentially even just leading the Annihilate and just saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to lead this thing turn one, and I'm going to set it up with beat up Rage Fist. Because I think had he got the beat up off earlier and he was able to really threaten that Whimsicott with the one shot, threaten the Goldanger with the one shot, things would have definitely been a lot scarier for Wolf. But getting in at the end of the game here without any, you know, bulk ups or, you know, Rage Fist stacks, sorry, I think it does just make things very, very difficult here. But again, Wolf knows he's got this one wrapped up. Game one is in the books. He cannot be touched here by this Annihilate. So it's kind of just, you know, waiting it out, making sure there's nothing that could go wrong here. And there it is. Game one is in the books. Wolfe Glick picking it up and is halfway to get guaranteeing himself a top cut here with a potential 10-0 record. All right, here we are jumping into game two, and we are going to see the Blood Moon Ursaluna plus the Maushold lead here. A good change up here, I believe, from Leonard, and we are going to see Wolf here going with the Hisuian Zoroark, once again disguised as the Blood Moon Ursaluna and the Incineroar here on Wolf's side of things. A very, very interesting bring here from Wolf. Obviously, I believe he's just predicting the Goldango on lead again, and wants to threaten some big damage here. But this Blood Moon Ursaluna is a very, very solid lead here, because even though this is a ghost type on the Hisuian Zoroark, a Hyper Voice right now will break the disguise and drop it to its focus sash. So definitely not a bad lead here from Wolf by any means. We are going to instantly see, though, that Leonard here is going to save that Blood Moon Ursaluna for later, bringing in that Goldango here. We are going to see a Super Fan come out once again into the Hisuian Zoroark. Wolf is having a good laugh there, and the Icy Wind does come out. The question is, what did Wolf click here on this this Incineroar? This is a knockoff into the left slot here, catching the Goldango, the Flare Blitz even potentially as well. It is not. The Maushold, though, will very, very comfortably take that Flare Blitz. That makes me believe that this is not a super invested Incineroar, unless the Maushold here is just quite bulky with that Focus Sash here. Very, very interested that it just did so little damage there, it felt like. But again, we see the knockoff, the Icy Wind potentially coming out here. This Incineroar is very well positioned in this game. And yeah, a knockoff right now into that Goldango could be very, very bad here for Leonard. We are going to see the follow me coming out here early though. This does put Wolfe in a very, very good position though. This Goldango now at -2 speed, even if it was to get up a nasty plot here, it doesn't feel that amazing because it will have to leave at some point. So very, very likely here, I think we just see a little bit of a make it rain. You know, you try to chip down that Hisuian Zoroark, and then you basically just try to clean it up late game here with something like that Blood Moon Ursaluna, and it is the make it rain. I do think I think Leonard here kind of understands, hey, I'm not in the best spot right now. You know, I need to make sure that I just basically get that focus sash down, and then I'm gonna have to get my Goldango out because it's gonna be very, very important to his end game here, especially if Wolfe does have that Goldango on his own side. But yeah, a very, very solid make it rain. Very, very likely to see probably just, oh, actually, it's going to be a new mon here. It is the Rillaboom. Okay, I don't mind this, of course. You've got Fake Out right now. You also do threaten that Incineroar here with the, so you threaten the Incineroar with the Fake Out. You also threaten the Zoroark here with the Grassy Glide. It does look like Wolfe, though. He's just going to stay in here with the intentions of just trying to get rid of this Goldango slot, right? It is very dangerous. Of course, that Blood Moon Ursaluna, as I mentioned before, very, very likely to come in now, which means the Hisuian Zoroark might not be able to get anything done this turn, but a knockoff right now could be very crippling for both the Goldango and the Ursaluna right now. Either just straight up KOing the Goldango here or removing the Assault Vest off that Ursaluna, which could definitely make things very, very interesting late game here for Leonard. Without that, it would all of a sudden be very, very susceptible here to the Goldango and the Ursaluna on Wolfe's side of things. We are going to see the pivot here, though. The question is, did he go for the Fake Out or did he go for the Grassy Glide? He's actually gone for the Terror. Doesn't want to eat the Flare Blitz here on the Rillaboom. It does make a lot of sense here, though. Wolfe doesn't really have anything threatening the other two mons. Of course, you do have high horsepower here on the Rillaboom. And with the Woodhammer, you should also be able to outspeed and deal quite a bit of damage as well to the Ursaluna in the back. That Bitter Malice, though, is going to do really good damage here. Also getting that minus physical attack and the knockoff as well. Dropping that Assault Vest. Very important to mention here as well. We did just see Wolfe's Incineroar outspeed, and the Incineroar will dodge the high horsepower. Oh my god, that turn could not have gone any better for Wolfe Glick. The minus attack, taking the Assault Vest and dodging the high horsepower. As we said as well, we also got to see Wolfe does have the faster Pokemon here as well. This Incineroar is faster than that Rillaboom here, so this could be very, very good for Wolfe. We are just going to see the Bitter Malice threatening the Parting Shot as well. Parting Shot can be a little bit scary with Goldango in the back, of course. It does, you know, block status moves, meaning the Incin could just get stuck on the board here for another turn. This does make a lot of sense though, right? Because he's saying like, hey, you know, if you stay on the board here, I can just make sure I get out of, get out safely. I get my Fake Out back on the board. And right now, the question is, can Wolfe, just keep that Blood Moon Ursaluna alive? I will say, very, very unlucky there for Wolfe that he was unable to get the, I guess, an Icy Wind off that turn, just to make sure that his own Ursaluna did outspeed this, and there's also no Goldango in the back here. Depending on what is clicked right now, this is a high horsepower coming out of, and it is actually just going to be the Earth power coming out there, sorry. Wolfe right now does have the option to look at like an Encore into the Grassy Glide right now, which could be very, very devastating if the Incineroar does touch the board. But we are going to see it is time. The Ursaluna is here. And I believe Wolfe Glick still has Terra available, which means we could start seeing some big Terra normal hyper voices coming out right now. The question is, does he go the Fake Tears or does he go the Tailwind here? He's actually just looking at the Moonblast right now. I mean, Fake Tears, again, very, very scary with the potential Goldango getting a pivot in the back right now, but if Wolfe's Ursaluna is slower than Leonard's here, things could get very dangerous really quickly. There is always as well the option of a potential crit out of a Woodhammer here with Metal Plate in grassy terrain. We are going to see the switch out here of the Ursaluna right now. I think had Wolfe just gone for the Fake Tears here into the Rillaboom slot, this game would almost certainly be over right now. We are going to see that Terra Normal coming out though. This should still deal quite a bit of damage. The main thing for Wolfe right now though is just making sure at the end of this turn you are not in Grassy Glide range. That is the most important thing. He needs to make sure that he can survive another turn and just threaten some big damage once again. The Moonblast will come out. It does very, very little to the Goldango. Does not get the special attack drop. There is that Woodhammer, though, dealing quite a bit of damage, but Oh, that's going to be really scary. With the Life Orb recoil, Wolf might just be in range here. The Hyper Voice, though, will be enough to pick up a KO. And all of a sudden, things look really, really good here for Wolfe Glick. I don't want to say it's over, but right now, something like a Protect into a Tailwind and then potentially just another Hyper Voice into a... I mean, you might even not have to Protect if you're Wolf here. You just need to secure the damage right now here onto that Goldango. It does get really scary, though, because obviously the Ursaluna right now, knowing what I know about the standard Ursaluna sets when they are Assault Vest here, Wolf is just looking at a potential straight pivot. I don't love this for Wolf right now. This could... If he was to pivot and lose the Ursaluna on this turn, like I think right now, oh, this Wolfe Glick, he's playing very, very dangerous. Just saying, hey, you're not going to make it rain here. Oh, Wolf, you're playing a dangerous game, my friend. He's just looking at the Protect and the Moonblast play here, trying to get that special attack drop. But right now, Leonard's on the back foot. I would not be surprised if we just see like a Make It Rain come out right now. And I mean, if we do, and if Wolf loses the Whimsicott without speed control here, oh, it is the nasty plot. Wolf with a big call. This Wolfe Glick may have actually just outplayed me even here. Does he get the special attack drop? He does not. The Blood Moon, though, does come out here into the Whimsicott, and it's not enough to hold. If Wolf had just gone for the Tailwind there and the Hyper Voice, I think this game would have been over, but all of a sudden, this Goldango now on the side of Leonard Craft is going to be the fastest thing on the board, and there's nothing Wolf can really do to stop it. Oh my god, I think Leonard has just brought this one back. All Wolf needed to do, unless the only thing I can think of there is if Wolf thought that a Vacuum Wave was going to be enough to KO his Ursaluna, and based on the damage it did to his Goldango before, he's probably correct. But wow, that is a big, big turn there. Wolf, though, does get the double, paying it back from game one here. The question is, does a Flare Blitz come out? And no, Leonard calls it again. I mean, at this stage, though, the Make It Rain would have definitely been enough. So just try to make sure Incin is in range here of a +2 Make It Rain, and it very likely is. And with that, I think Leonard Craft has pulled this one back. 2 correct plays in a row there from Leonard. Should just have this one sealed up, forcing a game 3. That was just such a well-played endgame there by Leonard. As I said, I feel like I have to check the calcs. I want to say Ursaluna from that range should live a Vacuum Wave, but something like a Tailwind and a Hyper Voice just felt so safe, right? Because if you get up that Tailwind, the Goldango doesn't get to play the rest of the game, right? And then all of a sudden, you threaten a Flare Blitz into the Goldango, you threaten a Blood Moon into the Ursaluna, and you have it wrapped up. And I think Wolfe Glick kind of just misplayed that endgame there, because without Assault Vest, I'm certain a Terra Normal Hyper Voice, sorry, Terra Normal Blood Moon would have picked up the Ursaluna here. The only question, I guess, was it in range of Vacuum Wave? It is something I'll have to check after the set, but yeah, very, very well played endgame there by Leonard. Of course, something even just like a Tailwind plus a Blood Moon into the Ursaluna could have potentially just wrapped it up there, just saying like, hey, as long as it goes off, we are going to see here though, and it does hold. So yes, it was a misplayed endgame by the GOAT there. I'm almost certain just a Tailwind and Blood Moon just wraps that up for Wolf. Even Tailwind Hyper Voice probably would have been enough, as the Ursaluna on the side of Leonard there definitely would not have been able to clean up that game, I don't think, had the Goldango gone down. So very well played endgame there by Leonard. Wolf did make a big, big mistake though, I think, and I guess we've got to see now if he can bounce back and take it in game 3. We are heading into game 3 now. Both players played very, very well there. We are going to see the Mousehold and then Goldango coming back out here, and we are going to see another swap up here from Wolf. It is going to be the Incineroar with that Dragon Knight. The question is though, is it really Dragonite? And it looks like it actually is this time. We do see the knockoff. We do see the scale shot. Honestly, a very, very strong lead here from Wolf. The question is, does Leonard once again go for the Super Fang? You know, he's been fooled twice. Does he do it again? Because right now, a Super Fang plus a Make It Rain would definitely be enough to get rid of this Dragonite right now if Wolf here is not careful. And that could be the momentum Leonard needs to go for here game 1. And what are we going to see? We are going to see that Protect coming out here just to start. And I believe Wolf, though, did make a pretty good play here. Doubled that Goldango, but it is actually just the double Protect. Again, very, very smart here from Leonard, just saying, hey, is it actually the D-Knight? He sees the scale shot. He's like, okay, it is actually the D-Knight. I will say, as we mentioned before, this D-Knight, though, again, Super Fang Make It Rain, it should be enough to KO here. If this is a timid Goldango, then Wolf's D-Knight very, very likely just doesn't get to move here. Of course, though, there is always the potential of just a protect and a knockoff right now, and it does look like Wolfe will hover that protect here. I don't hate it. Knockoff into the Goldango I do think is pretty smart. Also just getting some form of chip here into the mouse hold, also really good. The only issue here, though, is if Leonard does call this and he goes for a Super Fang plus the Make It Rain into the Incineroar slot, he will do probably around 80% right now, which could be very, very crippling. But we do just see a simple follow me here coming out of the mouse hold here. And we do see that nasty pot. Leonard just getting set up. He's saying, hey, a knockoff and a scale shot does KO me, but if if you miss or if you protect or anything like that, you can't get rid of my mouse hold this turn, which basically just frees me up for the next turn. We are going to see that Flare Blitz, though, coming out doing just a bit over 50%, just saying, hey, you are in range of me next turn. But now Wolfe Glick not in the best position because, again, as we said before, the Super Fang Make It Rain would have definitely been enough. I have a funny feeling that Make It Rain from just full HP is going to be very, very close to KOing. Even if this is something like a Follow Me from Leonard, this does put Wolfe into a very, very tricky position. I would not mind seeing Leonard here either go for a Super Fang into that Incineroar slot right now as well, just to really slow down the pace of this game for Wolfe, because if he does get that Super Fang out here and then goes for the Make It Rain, it could put him in a very, very dominant position right now. We are going to see Leonard here, though, going for that Terra Water, of course, a very, very good defensive neutral typing, allowing him to take the knockoff, which does make me think that Wolfe's Dragonite right now could be in a lot of trouble. We are actually going to see the beat up coming out just to say, hey, I just need multi-scale gone. I know this Make It Rain will KO. Very smart there from Leonard. Doesn't want to risk that 90% Super Fang. Just getting that 13 damage, but that should be plenty more than enough right now for the Make It Rain to come out, and it is definitely enough. And look at that Incineroar's HP as well. Just took 130 damage. That is 2/3 from a Make It Rain, a resisted attack into the goat. We will see a knockoff here, though, come out for Wolfe. It does take that life orb, but with Friend Guard, that Goldango is just so bulky. And all of a sudden now, if you're Leonard, like, yeah, you've got Icy Wind on the board right now, but things are still really, really scary for Wolfe. You know, of course, a Flare Blitz here does threaten a KO. Of course, you do have that Focus Sash intact right now, but the big thing here is, you know, does Wolfe survive another turn? And that, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Goldango here go for a protect just so it doesn't get Icy Winded. And I think that's kind of what Wolfe's betting on right now. He's on the back foot. He's really, really far behind in this game. He's yet to break the mouse hold. And yeah, we do see that Super Fang come out here. I don't think the Incineroar lives this Make It Rain, though, is the only issue. And we are going to see the Make It Rain come out. And the difficult thing here for Wolfe, though, is, of course, this is a Zoroark disguised. The Incineroar, though, sorry, it does hold. This is actually really, really big here for Wolfe. The mouse hold will go down, but so will the Incineroar from the recoil. That crit does not matter. We saw on turn 1, he did a little over 50 with the Flare Blitz. Or sorry, on turn 2, I should say. But yeah, that will be enough just to take out Wolfe's Incineroar. And now we will see the Ursaluna come out. And look, for those who don't know, if Zoroark is the last one to touch the board, it will come out as itself. And for anyone who, I guess, again, who doesn't know, Leonard Craft is one of the best one of the most, I guess, informed players in the scene. I am almost certain he will know that the Zoroark is on the right slot right now. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see how this turn plays out. Of course, the Terra Normal Blood Moon threatening a lot of damage into both Pokemon here. Of course, Wolfe, though, does have to make the aggressive play. I think if a Make It Rain comes out right now, things could be very, very dicey. I think if I'm Wolfe, Icy Wind plus Terra Normal Hyper Voice is the play, because I don't think a Blood Moon KOs. I could be wrong, but I think Assault Vest Max Spadef Ursaluna probably takes this pretty comfortably. We are, though, going to see the Terra coming out of Wolfe. We're going to see here if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Terra Normal Blood Moon Ursaluna with Life Orb is a very, very strong Pokemon. This could also just be Wolfe here, though, making a call, just saying, hey, you are not going to go for it. Oh, and he has attacked with the Goldango. A Hyper Voice would have KO'd here. But the question is, does this Blood Moon pick up a KO onto the Ursaluna on Leonard's side? It's probably going to be very close, especially with that chip from the Icy Wind, but the Goldango will very likely just be able to wrap this game up. We are going to see the KO, but at this stage, does the Make It Rain pick up the Ursaluna on Wolfe side of things? If it does, I think this is all but over for Wolfe. If it can survive, there is a chance, and it actually takes it pretty comfortably. Wolfe Glick still in with a shot here. Of course, both mons on Wolf's side of things do have Protect, so it all comes down to what the last Pokemon on Leonard's side of the board is, and we are going to see that Rillaboom coming out once again. This is not the Pokemon Wolfe wanted to see here, I think. He really needed anything without the priority. Of course, the Icy Wind has already come out. The big question here is, does Leonard go for the Grassy Glide here into the Zoroark? I would like to think that since it is Terran, Ursaluna does live it. Of course, though, Wolfe, he knows he's on the back foot here. He knows he has to play aggressive right now. Of course, a fake out into the Ursaluna is very, very obvious here, but a Grassy Glide into the Zoroark as well is very, very obvious. Wolfe, he's gone offensive here. The fake out, though, will come out, and that should seal it. Without the Ursaluna here, I do not think Wolfe has a chance here in the end game. Very, very well played there by Leonard. Once again, the question, I think, to me comes down to what happens if Wolfe Glick just protects there, double protects. Obviously, his Zoroark would have been in range of Glide, and very likely, I think the Rillaboom would have been able to get that one done. It would have been able to eat that Hyper Voice that would have come out the following turn and just been able to, I think, 2 Grassy Glides definitely would have been enough. But yeah, look, very, very well played here by Leonard Craft. He's showing why he is also one of the best players in the world. Just absolutely both end games there. I think he really, I don't want to say he outplayed Wolfe, but he just made a lot of really good predictions there and was just honestly an honest performance and some good sportsmanship there as well by Wolfe Glick and Leonard Craft.